Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Live at the Waterhole, where first up, we're coming to you from the Jamala Dam Cam in the Madikwe Game Reserve in the northwest province of South Africa. My name is Ralph Kirsten and welcome aboard. It's always going to be interesting to see which animals come down for a drink today. And of course, a nice busy start here at Jamala. As always, don't forget that this is a live and interactive experience, so we'd love for you to jump on board with us and send us through your questions and your comments. And you can do that by going on the WildEarth website and registering. We would love to hear from you. Yesterday was quite busy across the board. Lots of elephants for World Elephant Day. That was wonderful. But now today, lots of general game here at Jamala. We've of course got lots of different locations, so we'll be jumping around wherever the action shows us. Nice to see blue wildebeest, lots of zebra there in the background, and I'm sure at some stage there'll be elephants coming down too. Some impala intermingled with the general game there. So it does look like it's nice and clear here at Jamala. Hopefully it stays that way. But with that being said, let's go and have a look what the weather's going to be like across all the different locations. So it does look indeed like it's going to be a lovely warm winter's day across the board. So that does bode well for lots of animals coming down for a drink, especially as it heats up into the middle of the day. So a good amount of animals here at Jamala already. And as I say, it does always bode well. The warmer it is, the more the animals will obviously want to come down and quench their thirsts. Letty, good morning to you too, and lovely to have you aboard. And yeah, it's a very good start to the morning. Generally, it does take a bit of time for the animals to want to come down for a drink, but it started off nice and early this morning with a good amount of game here at Jamala. Top Cat, thank you for your comment. And yep, it's lovely to start with such a busy waterhole. Generally takes a bit of time. And it's normally about 10:30 that the animals then start coming down. But lovely, good start to the morning. So we wonder what else is going to be busy today. And I'm pretty sure that across all the different locations, with that weather prediction being nice and warm, I'm sure they're all going to be busy. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, which exact waterhole we're going to go to. And we see it quite a lot at this waterhole that the animals come down for a drink, but they also do partake in geophagia, just in this area in the foreground, with a lot of mineral salts, I would imagine. The elephants, we've seen the impala, and we've also seen the blue wildebeest eating the soil here, getting in their supplements for the day. Right, so as I said, it seems like it's going to be a busy morning. It's nice and warm. And with that being said, let's head on over to Kenya in East Africa and Africam Old Donyo. Where we've got some zebra and the East African oryx already trying to make its way in there. What's that bird? Looks like a bird of prey. We did have a gymnogene the other day. Now this, I'm going to have a closer look and see exactly what bird this is. Could it be an African hawk eagle? It does look suspiciously like that. So this exact location is located on over 111,000 hectares of private land in the heart of the Chulu Hills between Kenya's Tsavo and Amboseli national parks. But this is a perfect opportunity, folks. Get your bird books out. Let me know what bird you think that is that's just wallowing on the edge of the waterhole. And we'll keep an eye on it because if it does take to wing, we'll definitely be able to see a few more of the identifying characteristics. But I'm thinking it's an African hawk eagle. That is a lovely close-up picture of this bird, and with hardly a breath of wind, it's making for a beautiful reflection as well. So I'm pretty sure this is an African hawk eagle. You often see them in pairs when they're in flight, but I've never seen one down at the waterhole like this. And we'll see if, as per usual, the giraffe are a little bit nervous, even of a bird that you would think is tiny in comparison to them. But when the gymnogene was here a couple of days ago, the giraffe was scared of it. So I wonder if it will be the same here. So, and when I say these birds are usually found in pairs, especially in flight, they actually have quite elaborate flight displays. And these displays are usually little more than mutual circling with the pairs, with intermittent calling, but the males sometimes uncommonly do engage in sky dances. And these are, in fact, in breeding display rather than territorial exclusion displays. But during the sky dance, they engage in relatively shallow undulations with steep plunges and short rises. And then there's a little wing flapping as well. But in many cases, the male will dive towards the female, and the female in turn turns to the male and displays her claws. And this mating ritual culminates in the male presenting the female with nuptial gifts in the form of prey. And they're very and typically highly monogamous. So they pair for life. So Mike in the UK, thanks for your comment. It does look like he doesn't have a care in the world, does it? But just soaking its feathers a little bit there, I think. It's quite interesting how the bird is just watching that giraffe. Obviously quite concerned. It's a massive animal in comparison. So I hope you all agree that that is in fact a African hawk eagle. You can see that quite a splotchy black spots on the front chest, and then they've got a reasonably snake eagle looking head or a boxy head. But I'm pretty sure that it's an African hawk eagle. I think he needs to watch out. This giraffe, when he flicks his mouth, you'll see he might end up spraying the bird as well.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to capture a snapshot of wildlife in its magnificence? Our naturalist, James Henry, has spent his life creating memories through the lens, and he wants to share them with you.
From the sublime to the ridiculous, everybody.
Join James for a photography hangout where he will entertain you with safari stories through some of his best photographs and color grade them live. Come along for the fun. Wild Earth, it's in your nature.
All right, so lovely sighting that we've had here, but I think we're going to jump around a little bit because there's action all over the place. And that was lovely with the African hawk eagle. Now this giraffe getting down for a drink. But I think, as I say, we'll jump around a bit. I'm sure we'll come back here at some stage. But for now, let's head on over to Africam Tau. Where, as per usual, there's some blue wildebeest present. It seems they spend a lot of time just near to this particular waterhole. Some impala now that have joined them. Lots of good birding here as well. The resident black-winged stilts just moving around there along the shoreline. There's a blacksmith lapwing. I'm just seeing which duck that is that's moving there. There were some white-faced whistling ducks yesterday. But that one looks either like a yellow-billed duck or one of the teals. So there's not too much in the way of drinking. These animals just hanging around. So Andrew, you want to know if there's crocodiles here in this area? And yes, indeed, there's 5 massive crocodiles. I'm sure we'll see them out sunning themselves. Apparently they have nested before here as well, but they haven't been successful because the animals keep digging up the nests. So there's only adults and no youngsters, but they have been attempting to get some clutches through, but it's not been very successful. And yesterday we had a lovely sighting here of a small family of warthogs. You can see one walking through just behind those blue wildebeest. And they were grazing and they were digging around, getting into the roots of the grass, etc. They spent a lot of time doing that. And then we had some tiny little birds, which I do believe were firefinches, that were coming in to take advantage of the areas that the warthogs had dug up for them. Looks to be a small little three-banded plover just off to the right of this blacksmith lapwing, to the bottom right of the screen. Tiny little bird. You can see some guinea fowl moving through there too, right in the background. Here in front, I think that's white-faced whistling ducks. Also with a red-knobbed coot. So that we saw that little red-knobbed coot. They're often quite aggressive to other birds. And the white-faced whistling duck, it does not fight back. So you see there, he's dominating those little birds there. Anyway, nice little whistle stop here at the African Tau in the Madikwe Game Reserve. But without further ado, I think let's change of place. And this time, let's head to the Sabi Sands and Djuma. Where our little family of hippos is now out of the water. They've obviously and most likely been out feeding during the night, and this is normally a time of rest during the day, but in winter we do often find them going out and sunning themselves out of the water. So it looks like that's exactly what they were doing, but since something's disturbed them and they're going to be heading into deeper waters. Were they scared off by what looks to be Egyptian geese? It wouldn't be the first time. They do make quite a racket. Right, so the zoomies, who are the guys that work on all the different cameras, there's always somebody that's on the different cameras, but the message I'm getting is that in fact there are elephants off in the thickets there, and they're pretty sure that that's what spooked these hippos to go back down into the water.
Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of WildEarth's Fireside Chats.
So, Mike from the UK, it's difficult to tell if these hippos are all related. What I would think is that potentially Dewey, the big bull, he might have sired some of these youngsters. Um, and then he's also sort of attracted the females that are now with those youngsters. So he's been moving around and changing of water holes, and I think he might have been spending time with these females at a different water hole, maybe Biffle's Hook Dam, which is to the north from here. But as I say, difficult to tell because we don't know exactly where these females have come from. But I would think that he sired these youngsters. Um, but if not, he would obviously try to mate with these females as well now that he's got them in his territory. And so at some stage, he would have some offspring through these females, if not already. And hippos will generally be quite inactive during the day because they spend a lot of energy at night walking to find their feeding grounds, nice grazing areas. And then they normally return around the early hours of the morning, just before sunrise, sometimes a little bit later, sometimes a bit earlier. But they could have walked for many, many kilometers during the night. So during the day, then they rest up and get the energy for the next night's jaunt once more. So, Jen from the UK, interesting question that. When hippos do get older, you can see that they obviously do get affected by arthritis. But I think you might be onto something there that because they spend a lot of time in the water, maybe good exercise there, nice loose joints. But as a they do walk for many kilometers at night. So I'm not quite sure. That's a very interesting question and one to think about. Now, something that's very interesting about hippos is that they they are ecosystem engineers. And because of their massive size, they create new paths and channels as they move through the water. And the water flows through these channels during the wet season. And when we're talking of this, it's mainly around the Okavango Delta, um, where they make these kind of channels. And the water flows through these channels during the wet season, which creates new habitat and shelter for birds, insects, and other species. And in the dry season, the lagoons left behind provide a safe haven for small fish and other creatures. So they're critical to the health of wetland ecosystems because of the role they play through defecation and in fertilizing the water, as well as keeping all these channels open. So Dave, yes, indeed, hippos they don't have a real set breeding season. It is a little bit increased sort of during the period of November to March or so, but they'll give birth and they breed at any time of the year. So once they go into the water as well, they do become pretty inactive, and they can also sleep underwater, obviously coming up to breathe, but it's just a little push off the bottom. They come up, take a breath, and then they sink back down and carry on their sleep. Righty, so we'll carry on the theme of jumping about and seeing what is happening at the different waterholes to get a different perspective and see some different animals. And so this time, I think we're going to go to Africam Comfortsdam near to Kimberley. And of course, our resident flamingos. Yesterday they were very inactive, sleeping for most part, but today looks like they're up a bit earlier, which is great. So most of these birds that are moving and active are greater flamingos, and the ones that are inactive, a little bit more pink and smaller, those are the lesser flamingos in the background.
Hi, my name is Claire. WildEarth has been part of this home for many years as it connects us to the bush and the culture that we love and miss so much. I became an explorer so that other people around the world can get to experience the African bush in this unique way as well. I am beyond excited that I was drawn to win the prize at Ambakala Game Reserve for 3 nights. It is truly a dream come true.
Sign up today and you could be the one experiencing it for yourself.
But lovely breeding site they have here as well, and they do breed between November and March, and around September, October we can expect the numbers to increase, and sometimes even up to about 50,000 individuals. So it's going to be very interesting times ahead, and I can't wait to see when the numbers do in fact start increasing. So our mission here at WildEarth is to connect the world with nature. And if you'd like to help us in our quest, you can go onto the WildEarth website and click donate. Any little contribution really counts, so we would highly appreciate any contribution you may have. Nice to see the flamingos putting their wings out now. Obviously, just doing a bit of feather maintenance. Probably lots of preening going on too. But nice little stop here at Kamfersdam. I'm sure we'll come back here at some stage. But for now, let's go back to Kenya and Africa Old Donyo. where we have lots of eland that are coming down to drink. This is lovely. So these eland you might think are a different species, but in fact these are still the common eland. They do though have a bit more of a yellow color to them than you might see across southern Africa. And I think it's just maybe a little bit of a color variation there in East Africa, but it is indeed still the common eland. There's only two species of eland, the common eland, which is mainly in sub-Saharan Africa, but you do also get the giant eland, which you find in West Africa. So, Top Cat, you've noticed that the waterhole is maybe drying up a little bit. I'm pretty sure that this does get topped up by groundwater. Um, and so I don't think that they'll let it completely dry out. It will probably be topped up again. Generally, this part of the world is more summer rainfall, so you can expect rains to be coming September, October, but generally big rains around January, February. But it's very close to the equator. You can also have rain throughout the year, but more so in the summer months. This waterhole does really bring a lot of activity, and it's worthwhile noting that during the night there's a lot of predators that come to visit here too, from lions, leopards, striped hyena, which is a special animal to see. So it is worthwhile having a look on Africam and following this particular waterhole, especially at night. Giraffe definitely looking to have a drink, and he's got a few hitchhikers there in the form of oxpeckers. Always looks rather awkward when giraffe are drinking, and that's because the neck isn't long enough to reach the ground. So Dreamwild, there definitely are lots of predators that come to drink here. It's just the time of day that we're on the show, from 9:30 to 12:30. Generally, the predators won't be active during that period. They're more nocturnal. We can get lucky and we see them sometimes during the day, but there's more activity from them at night, being more nocturnal. Yes, we do know leopards walk around during the day, but in general, it's much more activity at night. And then resting up during the day when it's very hot and the sun is out, they come through at night, normally around sunset, have a drink, then they move off, go do their hunting, and then they may return to have another drink before they go and rest up for the day.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
So it looks like this giraffe may have now drunk its fill, and I wonder if it's going to move off. And off he goes. But we can expect a lot of activity at this waterhole. Even though it's overcast, it doesn't seem to change much. And I'm pretty sure that that's because it's very close to the equator, and regardless of it being overcast, it will still be hot and humid. Right, so now that it's gone a little bit quiet, I think we'll move off and find some activity elsewhere. So let's go to Madikwe and Jamala. Where the elephants once again are nice and early. Fabulous. We really have been blessed with a lot of elephants coming down here at Jamala over the last little while. Um, and today looks no different. We do know that the population has exceeded 1,500 individuals on the reserve. So nice to see a good part of that population. And 2 or 3 days ago, we had about or over 100 elephants, I'm pretty sure. They just kept coming over a period of about an hour, and it was just wonderful to see. So I'm wondering how many of them we're going to see here today. Yeah, looks like we've already got some more arriving. So the numbers are increasing. So, Quade in Dublin, thanks for your question and lovely to have aboard with us in South Africa. And yes, the elephants do go for a swim. They love swimming. But it's just this time of the year that, we're in winter now, so the water is a little bit cooler than it might be in the summer months. And so they're a little bit more reluctant to go for a swim. As you can imagine, I also am reluctant to go swimming in winter here. The water gets to about 13, 14 degrees or so. So it's rather chilly. And when it's a nice hot day, and sometimes around the middle of the day, even in winter, then we start to see some of the elephants going for a swim. But in summer, it's a very regular occurrence. In fact, they do it pretty much every time. If they were drinking here now in the middle of summer, nice and hot, I can guarantee you there'll be a couple of individuals swimming, some of them spraying mud all over themselves, and really enjoying the water. As we know, elephants, they love it. Another one that does enjoy the water is the buffalo. That you can see two nice big bulls on their way through here. And same with them. In the summer months, they'll do a lot of wallowing. They're not really swimmers like the elephants are, but they'll wallow in the mud, lie in the mud, cake themselves full of it, and they can sometimes spend the whole day there. So as we change of seasons now towards the end of August, as we go into September, the sort of springtime, it really is going to be heating up, and we're going to see lots more playfulness, especially from the elephants in the water. Another one that is an animal that really enjoys the water is the warthog, who, like the buffalo, love to wallow, and then they'll go and scratch themselves on particular posts or rocks near to the water after they've caked themselves in mud, which then is also very humorous, very comical, and wonderful to watch.
love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new Waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
There is high concentrations of mineral salts, very often around water holes is where this gathers, and so that's what they're feeding on. But then in general, when we see elephants standing about and seemingly not doing anything, and there's lots of them doing exactly the same, it's very often that they're engaged in conversation. So if we had apparatus that could pick up very low frequency sounds, we'd probably hear that there's actually a lot being said currently. Now, I'm sure that you've all been enjoying watching Live at the Waterhole. It has only just recently been launched, the beginning of August, and we do now obviously have the lovely additions of the Africam locations and all of their cameras as well. So we are now going to be streaming live at the Waterhole, not just on the WildEarth app and on the website, but also on YouTube. And as you know, it's streamed straight after the sunrise safari at 9:30, and it continues on until 12:30 in the afternoon. So be sure not to miss out, and if you do, you can always watch the catch up on YouTube. So the numbers of elephants here just continue increasing, and I'm hoping that continues even more. it's always amazing to have so many elephants like this together in one spot. There's always some kind of interaction between them. They're very tactile animals, and obviously, with the tactile nature that they do have, they also communicate a lot through that, but they also do communicate through verbal noises, much of which we can't hear because it's too low frequency. But there's always something interesting to see that's going on between them, and it's just lovely to watch. So Minty Mac or Minty Magic, lovely comment from you. It is, in fact, very, very nice to see a nice big herd, um, Minty Magic. But I think yes, there's a couple of different herds that are mixing in here, and that's always interesting to note, especially when another herd arrives, and then the communication that goes on between them. Fascinating.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to capture a snapshot of wildlife in its magnificence? Our naturalist, James Henry, has spent his life creating memories through the lens, and he wants to share them with you.
From the sublime to the ridiculous, everybody.
Join James for a photography hangout where he will entertain you with safari stories through some of his best photographs and color grade them live. Come along for the fun. Wild Earth, it's in your nature.
So, for any new viewers that may have just joined us, hello and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. We're coming to you from the Jamala Waterhole in the Madikwe Game Reserve, which is in the northwest province of South Africa. My name is Ralph Kirsten, and we've had a lovely start to the show. We've been intently watching these elephants here at Jamala, but over in Kenya at the Oldonyo Africam, there we had a wonderful sighting of African hawk eagle that was soaking itself in the water. And with the perspective of that camera, it's nice and close to the waterhole as well. It was just beautiful. And And so we've also been at Kamfersdam, that's Africam as well, near to Kimberley with the flamingos. And we've also been at another spot in Madikwe, and that's at Africam Tau. So we've jumped around a little bit. At Juma, we also have the family of hippos there in the water. So it's been great so far, and the numbers of elephants just keep increasing here at Jamala. So we've been stuck here for a little while because it's been very interesting watching the different individuals communicate, play a bit, mostly the youngsters, having a bit of fun time, and eating of soil or geophagia, getting in their minerals and the mineral salts and their supplements for their diet. And as always, don't forget that it's a live and interactive experience, so we'd love for you to jump on board with us and send us through your questions and your comments. You can do that by going on the WildEarth website and registering. Righty, so lovely time spent with these elephants here, but I think let's just swap place for a little while and see what else is going on. So this time, I think let's head to Olifants West in the Greater Kruger and Africam Naledi Dam. Nice different spot this, very well visited by elephants as well. But for now, a nice herd of impala. So, John Jude from Scotland, lovely to have you on board with us. Where in Scotland are you? Edinburgh, Glasgow. My wife's from Scotland. She's from the Isle of Bute, near to Glasgow, or in the Inner Hebrides. So John Jude, eland, impala, and all of the antelope, really, the prey species, as we also call them, they don't generally get old enough to die of old age. They can do sometimes, but it's quite rare because any weak individual will generally get taken out by predators, and mainly the likes of impala would be leopards that take them out, and wild dogs as well. An eland, it would be mainly lions, but it could be leopards as well. Generally, mostly lions, though. So the leopards are constant, and the predators in general are constantly on the lookout for any weak animals that may be not able to run as fast. And and that happens obviously when the animals do get older. So you don't often see it getting to that point where the animals actually die of old age. They normally, and it's probably better for them as individuals, get taken out before that happens. As soon as they start getting a bit weaker with age, it's normally not very long, and the predators spot that, and it's easier for them to catch them. So they don't generally get to the age when they'll die of old age, but it does happen, maybe where the concentrations of predators are not as high. But here in the greater Kruger area, very high concentrations of leopards, lions, wild dog. Even the cheetahs suffer because of the high concentration of these other big predators. Spotted hyenas as well. Spotted hyenas are very quick to pick up that there's a weak animal about, and they'll just chase it until it's exhausted, and then rip it to pieces. So that's generally the reason why animals and the prey species don't really get old enough to die of old age. And remembering, very easy to see with impala, the males and females. Females don't have horns. The rams, they do. So very typical of the thicket or the bush animals, like kudu, also only the male has horns. Bushbuck, nyala, all animals that prefer the thickets, their sexual dimorphism is very clear. The males have horns, females don't. Ones that prefer staying out in the plains, both male and female have horns, like the blue wildebeest, like the springbok. And so it's quite easy to also work out the kind of habitat that they prefer. Both male and female with horns, they prefer open areas, nice on the grassy plains. Where only the males have horns, they prefer it in the thickets. Righty, so it is a little bit quiet here at Naledi Dam, the Africam here, but who knows? Maybe we'll see a leopard a little bit later on. But while we wait for some spots to appear, let's head on back to Djuma. Where our hippos are still been busy. They're moving around quite a bit, and they've just moved into a nice spot, and looks like they're sunning themselves. Remember that hippos don't or aren't able to thermoregulate very well, so one of the main reasons why they spend so much time in the water is to keep cool. But when it does get cold, then you'll find them lying out in the sun trying to keep warm. I'm just trying to see what is that on the back of, I think it might be Dewey, the male bull on the left here. Is that a terrapin? It's doing a very good job of balancing if it is.
We love all the support, we read all the comments, and now we want to acknowledge our biggest fans. Do you know when Ribbon was seen last? Or the names of June's cubs? Do you remember the last time we were up close and personal with an elephant? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in for a treat. WildEarth's Fan of the Month. We are looking for you. For more details, make sure to read our monthly mailer and keep an eye out on our social media pages. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
I have to say that marsh terrapin on the back of the hippo, he's really got some talent. He's hanging in there, balancing on the back. Might be a while before this hippo goes back to the water, so he's going to have to stick it out. Oh, is the terrapin going to make a run for it? Look there, it's going down towards the tail. Might be falling off. Oh, there he goes. Oh, and he's landed upside down. Let's see if he can right himself. Otherwise, he's going to vanquish there. But I'm pretty sure he should be able to get himself rolled over. Shame, buddy. Shame, I'm moving my arms in a way and trying to help him. It's a shame, this poor terrapin. That's it. Come on, hippo. Just give him a push. At least we do have some movement here from this terrapin. It is able to spin itself around a bit, so I'm still feeling confident that it is going to somehow get itself righted again. And there we go. Fantastic. Well done, buddy. Off you go in the water. Looks like he's just trying to catch his breath. He probably thought that was him done. And safe and sound back in the water. Perfect. So it looks like a nice, slow, relaxed Sunday for these hippos. Maybe they're just going to enjoy a bit more sun. And there the elephants are that spooked them a little bit earlier. Nice to see them as well. With a nice big waterbuck bull. Always good just to have a scan. You never know what you might be missing. Terry Ann, thanks for your comment. And always lovely to see elephants at all of the locations. It's always a privilege and it's lovely to watch. So we might see some interaction here between the elephants and the hippos. Let's just wait and see what happens here.
Are you yearning for a private virtual WildEarth safari adventure with our naturalists and crew? We have got you covered. Sign up to be an explorer before the 15th of August and you could win a private safari experience. Make lifelong wildlife memories with either Steve
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
or Cedric. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
So it seems the elephant's not bothering these hippos too much. You can find that the bull, and a territorial bull that hippos are, they can be quite irritated with any of the other big animals that come to their particular waterhole and their territory. So they very often make a lot of noise and lots of teeth showing, or the kind of yawning that hippos do. But it looks like Tui's a little bit tired today. He's not too interested in chasing them off. Nice young little babies there. Always lovely to see when there's small babies in breeding herds. This is very special, very cute. It's just lovely. The one drinking milk from its mom, and these two look like they want to play. That's still a very young little baby. That you see how it's able to still walk below or underneath its mother. It's definitely under a year old. So Shanae from the UK, thanks for your question. Yeah, it's one of those questions often asked around how do you age the different sized elephants and so on. So this little one definitely under a year of age. After a year, they're too big to be able to walk underneath their mother. Um, and another indication that it's under a year is the ear flaps. They still cross over on the top of the head. As it gets past a year or so, then they sort of hang down on the side of the head. They're not overlapping on top. And around about a year of age or so is when they start to be able to use their trunk a little bit. And actually for what it's used for. It's not just like an out of control fire hydrant, which it currently is, and it's this little one will be exclusively drinking from the mother. Sometimes feeding a little bit on her dung that has been obviously partially digested with the hindgut fermentation process. But when they do that, it's very important, especially the hindgut fermenters, because then they get the stomach microbes that is required for proper digestion. So they get that passed on. But anyway, up until about a year of age, they really don't have much use of the trunk. And at about 2 years of age is when you normally see the first little signs of tusks. So this one definitely under a year of age, being able to pass underneath the mother as well. And I would put it at probably, somewhere around 4 to 6 months. Because it's not a fresh baby. They very often quite wobbly on their feet, and they do have a sort of a slighter difference in color. And you can just see that it is walking pretty comfortably, and those ears have started going down the side of the head, but still overlapping on top a little bit. So I would say it's probably halfway or so to a year. So Tador, it is definitely the cutest thing of today. That is for sure. So Tator, yes, sorry, I might have pronounced that incorrectly, but I must agree with you, 100%. I'm not sure if that was Tator or that O, which might also make sense. Righty, now that these elephants are slowly moving off and they're disappearing into the thickets, it seems like there's an elephant extravaganza continuing over at Jamala. Still lots of elephants around here, so they've been increasing in numbers, and I'm hoping for even more. All these impala here in the foreground with zebra with them as well. The impala looking like they're also feeding on the dirt, getting their supplements for the day. I don't see the buffalo now anymore. I wonder if they moved off because there were just too many elephants around. So, Mike from the UK. Well, elephants do have very good memories. They're very intelligent. They've all got individual personalities. So they absolutely do remember if they've met another individual before. You can see the way that they spend a lot of time actually meeting and greeting different individuals. And there's a lot of tactile communication. Very often the trunks are, touching the other one. Sometimes even putting the trunk in the other one's mouth. So I think there's a lot to do with the smells, the touch, and then the vocalizations between each other. So there's a lot of interaction going on, and I definitely think that they remember each and every different individual, as would we. I think it's sometimes difficult if you meet a lot of people. Maybe if you're at in a crowd and so on, you meet different people. But I'm 100% sure that there is that element of them remembering the different individuals within the herd that they've met before.
Are you WildEarth's biggest fan? Well, we have a brand new competition for you. Join our naturalists on Safari Live and listen out for weekly questions. To enter the competition, head over to our Instagram, search #WildEarthFanOfTheMonth and comment your answer under the post. The monthly winner will be determined by the total quickest and most correct answers. We announce our winner at the end of every month. Tune in to Safari Live daily.
So we've got just over half an hour left in the show, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen. It really does seem like it's a day for socializing because these elephants are really hanging about, but not visually doing anything. Uh, there's a couple drinking, but the ones in the background there off to the right, I think, are engaged in deep conversation. So, just for any new viewers that have just joined us, hello and welcome to Live at the Waterhole, where currently we're coming to you live from the Jamala Waterhole in the Madikwe Game Reserve of the Northwest Province of South Africa. My name is Ralph Kirsten, and it's been a lovely day at the different waterholes. We've jumped around a little bit. We were at Juma in the Sabi Sands with quite a big family of hippos and lots of elephants that also came down there. We've been in Kenya at the Africam Oldonyo, and we had a lovely African hawk eagle that was obviously having a drink and a bit of a soak of its feathers. There were Maasai giraffe and East African oryx and eland that came down there as well. We've been at the Africam Tau, which is on the same reserve as we are at here in Madikwe. We did a bit of birding there, and there's been lots of blue wildebeest and so on. And at the Africam Kamfersdam, just outside of Kimberley, of course, there with the flamingos. So it's been a great day, and now we're just relaxing with these elephants who also seem to be doing the same and having a lovely Sunday chat. But as always, don't forget that this is a live and interactive experience, so we'd love for you to jump on board with us and send us through your questions and your comments. You can do that by going on the WildEarth website and registering. Righty, so what a wonderful sighting this was with all of these elephants, but there's not too much activity from them, and it's nice just to change of location a little bit. So I think we won't change of reserve, but let's head up to Africam Tau. Where we've got an ostrich, which is lovely. Moving in the middle, there's some guinea fowl in the background. There's obviously a blacksmith lapwing in the foreground as well. Looks like this ostrich is feeding. A nice couple of ostriches there. And, oh, what is this? It's just a strange looking impala. I thought it might be something like a reed buck, and I think it's just strange looking impala. But the wildebeest also getting down to a bit of dust bathing. They love to roll around in the dust. Them and zebra are probably the best dust bathers out of all the prey species. So a couple of male ostriches, very easy to tell. They've, classic black and white are the males, and the females a nice drab brown. So very clear between the two. And when the males go into breeding plumage, they'll get very pink shins, as well as the bill getting very pink too. That's their breeding plumage. So they're not in breeding plumage currently, and probably why they're tolerating each other.
Are you passionate about photography and the wild wonders of Africa? Introducing Africam's incredible virtual wildlife photo competition, where you don't need a fancy camera or to travel across the continent to capture breathtaking shots. All you need is your love for wildlife and our live Waterhole cameras. Simply tune in and snap your favorite moments as they unfold in real time. Start clicking and share the magic of Africa with the world.
and so lovely weather to boot. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is a proper elephant party at the Waterhole. This is obviously quite hot here in Etosha. It's east weather currently, and that does generally make it quite a substantially hotter. So the elephants now really enjoying cooling off. There's some spraying mud on themselves, and they're really getting stuck in. What a wonderful way, I think, to end the show. We've got about 15 minutes left. I think we're going to be enjoying this for some time. And just have a look at that one in the middle. It's rolling around in the water, going completely underneath, and it's just loving it. And there's a second one that's come to join it. Obviously, didn't want to be, or leave that one to have so much fun all on its own. This is just wonderful. see this little baby that's walking through with its mother, also falling around in the water, loving it as well.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
And now that the elephants have decided to call off the pool party and they've moved off, of course, all the other animals that were waiting for them to finish up have now made their way through. Lots of springbok. There were also some kuru that came down for a quick drink. And now there's also a zebra as well. But mainly the springbok have flooded the area. So, Dream Wild, you're very welcome and thank you for joining us. It's been wonderful and glad that we made your day, or the animals did at least. I think they've made my day as well, especially that very happy group of elephants that were swimming just now. That really always cheers me up.
What did you say the giraffe was?
Right at the very back, walking into the trees.
At one point it was stream because we started around them.
Oh, okay.
That's a massive herd of elephants, isn't it?
I counted 38 when I was. I will have missed some. They had lots of babies with them.
Would you like to try? Oh. I can't believe you did that to me. I can't believe
really sorry. I didn't know
But you
you
can
were
still see the elephants. They're very slow movers.
So, slowly heading towards the end of the show. What a day it's been. Don't forget that later on this afternoon at 2:30 there will be the sunset safari. And of course tomorrow morning at 6:30 again there will be the sunrise safari. And then we will be back here once more at 9:30. But it won't be me this time. There's somebody else on the way. I'll just have a little break and I'll be back once again at a later stage. But it's been wonderful having you, and as always, thanks to the WildEarth. Without them, there wouldn't be a show, and thanks to the whole WildEarth team for making it all possible as well. And of course, I hope you've enjoyed a nice, relaxing day at the different waterholes. I think it's been an elephantastic day once more, and I'm sure tomorrow will be very different, but as it always is, you just never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of it. So thanks for joining us, folks, once more. And my name's Ralph Kirsten. I will see you next time. So bye for now.